everybody, and welcome to the Final Play Sports Wrap. I'm your host, Pete Lubar, and today we're having the Mountain West Wrap Up with results of last week's game, Week 3, and future games, what's going to happen. We're in Lobo Red today because there was a light Mountain West schedule last week. Only 6 teams played at all, and 2 teams played patsies. So we're going to start with the most meaningful game, Hail the New Mexico. New Mexico won and provided the Mountain West with the marquee win of the week. And they got that for shellacking UCLA of the Big Ten, 35-10. It was the first win over a Power 4 program in 20 years. Of course, last year they did beat Washington State, who was ranked 17th at the time. But let's face it, the Pac 8.5 is not a power conference. New Mexico ran for nearly 300 yards against the poor tackling Bruins, but the Lobos did their best to keep UCLA in the game, twice going for 4th and 1 inside the Bruins' 5-yard line, once using the quarterback sneak for no gain, a play they used against Idaho State for no gain. I'd suggest Lobos stop using that play. And they fumbled the next time after what appeared to be a first down inside the 3-yard line. And then after a very nice defensive stop, a 3 and out, the Lobos muffed a punt to give UCLA excellent field position, which they used to get a field goal, make the score 14-10 in the third period. But to be fair, the Bruins are terrible. They're undisciplined. They had 13 penalties for 105 yards. They don't run the ball well. And whoever wanted to pay Imaliva $2 million a year should have his head examined. He had a QBR of 26.9. I don't know how they calculate that, but 100 is good. 75 is considered good. 50 is considered average. 26.9 is not good. And as a result, UCLA is now looking for a new coach, as Deshaun Foster was fired on Sunday. A Mountain West coach has been mentioned as a potential replacement. That coach is not Eck, but it is Dan Mullins of UNLV. Now, Bronco Mendenhall may be a candidate as well, as he likes to move every year. Joking. Speaking of Bronco, he seems to have Air Force's number. He beat them last year at New Mexico and smacked them again Saturday as the Aggies beat the Air Force 49-30. Bryson Barnes may be the best quarterback in the Mountain West. He was 17 for 22, 287 yards, and 2 TDs, and he ran for 47 yards and 3 TDs. Air Force wasn't terrible, but they had 3 turnovers in the game. One on their first series that led to a TD, and a second one in the second half that led to another TD. Giving up 14 points when you lose by 19 is not ideal, and so Air Force falls to 0-1 in the conference. They play Boise this week. They probably will be 0-2, and kind of the same start that they had last year. The other game of interest this past weekend was Utah traveling to Wyoming. Devin Dampier got revenge on Wyoming since he lost as a New Mexico quarterback last year. But he led the 16th ranked Utes to a 31-6 victory over the Pokes. Dampier had 230 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. He ran for another 86 yards. Utah had 540 yards of offense compared to just 228 for the Pokes. And the Cowboys also committed 2 turnovers. An interception led to a fourth quarter TD. Utah was up 28-0 before Wyoming scored. 2 missed field goals by Utah kept the game closer than I liked, as I took Utah and gave the 23 points. But I did win that bet, so all's good in Happy Land. Nevada played and found a way to lose to Middle Tennessee, 14-13. The Blue Raiders scored a TD with 22 seconds left to get the victory. Nevada was up 13-0 in the fourth quarter and snatched defeat from victory. They used 2 quarterbacks in the game as A.J. Bianco started, but was replaced by Chubba Purdy. In a related note, his brother Brock Purdy missed the game against New Orleans on Sunday. A.J., however, was 9 of 17 for 78 yards and 1 interception, and had a QBR of 9.2 before being replaced. So if Imaliva's was bad at 26, imagine how bad 9.2 is. Fresno State had no trouble beating Southern, 56-7. E.J. Warner, Kurt Warner's son, threw for 240 yards and 4 TDs. To be honest, I had to look up where Southern was, and it's in Baton Rouge. They play in the SWAC in FCS. And Baton Rouge means red sticks. Red sticks are good. Southern is not good. And finally, Hawaii beat Portland 23-3. Luke Weaver had 240 yards and 2 DDs for Hawaii. Michael Alejado, who's been out for 3 games now after he got hurt with an ankle against Stanford in week 1, returned to practice last week, and it was a game-time decision, but obviously they held him out. I will say that Luke Weaver has done an admirable job the last 2-3 weeks filling in. And other than that Arizona game where they got smoked, they've won the last 2 weeks, but clearly against lesser competition. So, anyhow, on to next week's games, week 4 games, and everyone is in action except New Mexico, who's earned a well-earned bye. So we've got UNLV at Miami of Ohio. UNLV is giving 2.5. I think they will win that by at least that. I'm guessing more like 10. Idaho travels to San Jose State. The Spartans are 1.5 point favorites. Nevada is traveling to Western Kentucky, and they're 11.5 point dogs. Nevada's not a very good team. They weren't very good last year. It doesn't look like they're very good this year. I would not be surprised if Western Kentucky covers that. Boise State travels to Air Force. They're 10.5 point favorites. That feels about right. I had hopes for Air Force to be a lot better this year, but this first game against Utah State did not bode well for them. I'm not sure what the challenge is at this point. It looked like they ran the ball okay and they passed okay, but they had a couple turnovers and the rest is history. University of Texas San Antonio is traveling to Colorado State. Colorado State is actually a 4.5 point dog at home. Colorado State has not looked great playing their schedule so far, but I feel like they could win this one at home. So I might lean Colorado State in this particular match. Wyoming travels to Colorado. Colorado is not a good team. Wyoming is not a good team. Colorado is favored by 13.5. I think I'd take Colorado and give the points. Cal is traveling to San Diego State. They are a 12.5 point favorite. San Diego State is not a good team. Cal is a pretty good team. I expect Cal to win this game by 15 or more. And then we've got Fresno heading to Hawaii in a conference tilt. Fresno is a 2.5 point favorite. Alejado is supposed to be back, and so this should be a very close game. I would probably lean toward Fresno in this particular game. So that's my Final Play Sports wrap-up, the Mountain West wrap-up for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe to my YouTube page. It costs you nothing, but it helps me out. Thanks, everybody, and have a great day. Bye.